Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and welcome to another English lesson here on the channel where I have the opportunity to help you with your English comprehension, vocabulary, and your English fluency. Today I have a C2 level lesson where I am going to read through today's story and explain some of the vocabulary words and phrases and help you pronounce some of the English words. I will have a quiz at the end of today's lesson, so be sure to hang around for that. I hope you're ready for a little bit of learning and laughter. Welcome to all of the new subscribers. Let's dive into today's story. Kelly couldn't stop thinking about her ex-husband, Rudolph, and she convinced herself that they could get back together. Okay, let's look at this sentence. Kelly couldn't stop thinking about her ex-husband, Rudolph, and she convinced herself. So when you convince someone or you convince yourself, you are persuading yourself that something is true. So sometimes we use the phrase, you're talking yourself out of your own blessing. Okay, so you're convincing yourself that something good is not going to happen. You're persuading yourself. Okay, you're leading yourself to believe something, or you can lead someone else to believe something, to convince. So to use convince in a sentence, I may say, I convinced my friend to loan me $8,000. That would take a lot of convincing. Or you may say in a sentence, the older woman was convinced that the email or phone call was legitimate, but it was actually a scam. Okay, so something that is legitimate, it's true. So the woman was convinced because it looked professional or sound professional, and she was fooled, okay, or tricked. Let's continue. She started showing up unexpectedly at his favorite places, Kelly, hoping to remind him of the good times they once had. Oh, that's realistic. She started showing up unexpectedly. Okay, so when someone does something unexpectedly, they're doing something that you don't plan on them doing. It's something that you were looking for them to do. You weren't expecting them to do. Okay, so someone unexpectedly gave me $25. Okay, I think last month someone unexpectedly became a channel member. I didn't even know it, and they became a channel member. So you weren't planning on it. You weren't looking for it. It just happened. It was unexpected. Wow, how did I get this bump on my cheek? That's unexpected. So I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't planning on it. All right, let's see what happens to Kelly and Rudolph. Rudolph, however, had moved on and was in a happy new relationship. Rudolph, however, had moved on and was in a happy relationship. Now, notice this phrase, he moved on or had moved on. So I can move on the freeway, okay? Or I can move my water bottle from here to there, all right? But when we describe a person as having moved on, we're saying that they are progressing. They're going on with their life. So Rudolph and Kelly were in a relationship, but Rudolph has moved on to another relationship. Okay, they're divorced and now he has moved on. And notice in the story, now Rudolph is happy. He's happy in the new relationship. So I didn't go into detail why they got a divorce, and unfortunately they got divorced, but now he's happy. Let's see what was going on in the story to come. Let's find out what happened. At first, he tried to be kind. But Kelly's behavior became too much. Now, one phrase that we use in English is that we say, you know what? You're doing too much. You're being extra. Okay. So that describes a person that is going overboard. Okay. I just need you to answer me. Do you like me? That's all I want to know. Do you like me? I don't need to hear all of this extra feedback. You're doing too much. Okay. Or when someone's behavior becomes too much, they're, as we would say, over the top. Okay. I just wanted a hug. Why are you kissing me? Why are you grabbing me? Just give me a hug and let's move on. Your behavior is too much. Worried for his own peace and his new relationship. He started considering a restraining order against her. So notice in the text that they are no longer in a relationship, Kelly and Rudolph, and now she is still bothering him. It seems like, well, I said in the story, she is showing up at his favorite places unexpectedly. We call that stalking. Okay, that's behavior where you're following someone and they don't want you following them, and you're following them from place to place. So when someone is all over you all the time, we call that being overbearing. So Kelly seemingly in the story is overbearing. Okay. She hasn't moved on. She's still wanting to be with him. And now Rudolph is concerned about her behavior and he's worried. He's paranoid. He's looking over his shoulder, looking under the car. Where's Kelly going to be? Is she going to pop out of the shadows? Okay. Now notice he considered a restraining order against her. So in this country, a restraining order is when a person goes to the police or the authorities and they take out a restraining order, which by law says that a person can't be so close to you. They need to restrain themselves or stay away from you. So Rudolph wants Kelly to stay away. So he went to get what is called a restraining order. However, deep down, he still cared for Kelly and their kids. So he decided on a different approach. Yeah, deep down. So that's describing his heart, his feelings, his attitude about Kelly. She's acting strange. She's probably still in love with him. And he still cares for her deep down. And so instead of getting the police involved, notice we use the word, or I use the words, a different approach. So he decides to handle the situation a little bit differently. Let's see what he does. Rudolph arranged a mediation session to talk things out and set clear boundaries. Okay. So mediation, can you say that? Mediation. So mediation is when you have two or more parties, they get together with someone that is neutral or someone who's not going to take sides, and they help individuals solve problems or disputes. Okay. And so notice the mediator was going to help them set clear boundaries. Okay. Clear boundaries. So clear boundaries. Think of it like a fence. A fence keeps something inside of it, like a house or a barn. And so where the fence is, you know, that's where the property is. In a relationship, you need to have a fence or boundaries. Okay. During the session, he calmly explained that he was not coming back to her and that she needed to move on. I like that. He calmly explained it's over. Okay. I'm not coming back. It's a wrap, as we would say. Kelly was hurt, but realized that she had been holding on to false hope. There's a new phrase, false hope. So false hope is where you're thinking something is going to happen, but it's a possibility that it's not going to happen. Okay. So some people play the lottery and they believe that they're going to win that $100 million. And usually it's false hope because the statistics show that it's a low probability or a high probability that most people are not going to win. So we call that false hope. Okay. Let's look at the last sentence. In the end, they agreed to focus on co-parenting and building healthier boundaries for everyone's sake. That's good. In the end, they agreed to focus on co-parenting and building healthier relationships or healthier boundaries for everyone's sake. So co-parenting, it's where you have parents of a child, a mother and a father, and they are not married, but they have children together. And so they decide, look, we're not going to be in a relationship, but we're going to take care of the children together. I live over here, you live over there, but we come together to parent the children. That's what you call co-parenting. Okay, so that's today's story. Let's read through it at a faster pace. Can you still understand and keep up with me as I read through today's story? Let's find out. Kelly couldn't stop thinking about her husband, Rudolph, her ex-husband, Rudolph, and she convinced herself that they could get back together. She started showing up unexpectedly at his favorite places, hoping to remind him of the good times they once had. Rudolph, however, had moved on and was in a happy new relationship. At first, he tried to be kind, but Kelly's behavior became too much. Worried for his own peace and his new relationship, he started considering a restraining order against her. However, deep down, he still cared for Kelly and their kids, so he decided on a different approach. Rudolph arranged a mediation session to talk things out and set clear boundaries. During the session, he calmly explained that he was not coming back to her and that she needed to move on. Kelly was hurt but realized that she had been holding on to false hope. In the end, they agreed to focus on co-parenting and building healthier boundaries for everyone's sake. Excellent, excellent. Now, if you're still with me, let's look at a few quiz questions to test your comprehension and your memory from some of the vocabulary words and phrases in today's story. What does unexpectedly mean? What does unexpectedly mean? Number 2, what is co-parenting? And number 3, what is mediation? Not meditation, mediation. So I want you to drop down in the comments section and leave me your answers today and let me know your answers to these quiz questions. And if you have enjoyed today's lesson, be sure to check out some of my other links down in the description, especially my Parlay with Jay link, and it will take you to my other page where I have some English listening lessons where I read stories to you just so you can continually listen to English and become more familiar. And then we have a little chat right after the story. Well, that's going to do it for today's lesson. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, all I ask is that you share it with a friend on Facebook, on one of your other social media platforms. Text it to them in WhatsApp, and I know they will enjoy it. Let me know where you're watching from, all of my new subscribers, down in the comments section. And as I always say, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you join me on my next English lesson.